Good morning. Today on Spotlight, a conversation with two of Michigan's most experienced political observers. They'll look at the pros and cons and the fallout of the Mitten State's new voting districts for Congress, the state Senate, and the state House of Representatives. From Lansing, Bill Ballinger, founder of the Ballinger Report and the Friday Morning Podcast, and Bernie Porn, co-founder and president of Epic MRA. And later on our Sunday morning program, meet Detroit businessman Roderick Hardiman. He'll be here to share how his diverse and worldwide experience is helping to reimagine development in Michigan's largest city. It's Sunday, January the 9th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. All right, 3 quick questions. I just need a yes or no or I don't know. Are the newly redrawn district maps for Michigan, are they perfect? Bill?
No.
Bernie?
No.
All right. Will they hold up in court when all the yelling and screaming is done? Bill?
No, uncertain.
Uncertain. Bernie?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Final question. Are they better than if the partisan Democrats and partisan Republican parties had drawn them themselves? Bill?
No.
Bernie?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that gives us a point to start with. Is it good that everybody's upset?
Well, I don't know that everybody is upset.
Well, a lot of special interests are upset, right?
Well, the Republicans have actually been, I think, pretty silent. In fact, their initial statement was, you'll hear from us later. We're studying the maps. And that was like a week ago. And I haven't really heard anything from them. Now, Democrats are divided. A lot of Democrats realize these maps are better, obviously, than what's been in place for them over the last 10 to 20 years. Mm-hmm. But there are elements of the Democratic Party, particularly African Americans in Detroit, who are very unhappy.
In 1980, I drew congressional redistricting lines, and in 84, we tried to do legislative lines, which were ruled unconstitutional based on title object problems. So I have been there, and I have been in the target of legislators who the speaker sicked them on me, and I've had to deal with them and trying to draw the lines, and it is not a healthy thing to do in terms of coming up with, I think, the right kind of plan. And I think that the commission has accomplished largely what they were set out to do. I would have changed the priorities of 2 specific things, and that is communities of interest and political fairness. I would have flipped them because communities of interest, for one thing, nobody knows what it is. Secondly, partisan fairness, I think, should be above that. And I think to a large extent they have accomplished partisan fairness, especially compared to where they have been the last 20 years in legislative districts and also congressional districting. I think that, however, Democrats are probably unhappy, largely because they do not meet the voting rights requirements of majority minority. I've always learned majority means 50% plus 1.
The legal advice was you do not, commission, have to pay any attention to precedent in the past that the Voting Rights Act says there has to be no deviation whatsoever in population in congressional district lines. It has to be absolutely perfect population district by district, and majority minority means not that it has to be 50% plus 1 like Bernie was saying, and that's been the precedent in Michigan for 4 decades. It could be plurality majority. It could be 40%. And in fact, the state Senate map has no majority minority districts out of the 38 seats, not one. Let me just clarify one thing I just said very briefly. If you were saying to me, do I think that what the commission came up with was better than Republicans and Democrats working together to come up with a map? Let's say the legislature negotiating with Gretchen Whitmer to come up with maps. I would say no, and that's why I answered no. But if it's either or, if it's like, do I think the commission came up with a better or fairer map than the Democrats drawing a map by themselves, or the Republicans drawing a map by themselves, then I think definitely there is a situation where you could say the commission maps that we have right now is a heck of a lot better than what either of the two parties by themselves would have drawn up.
Okay.
I would agree with that too.
Okay. I need to take a quick little pause for the calls. We'll come right back and let's talk about the fallout from these newly redrawn districts, because we see folks jumping over into other districts and some saying it's time for them to retire. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And welcome back to Spotlight. All right, gentlemen, we've got 13 congressional districts, 38 Senate seats, state Senate seats, and 110 House seats up for grabs. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, the only African-American congressperson from Michigan, saying she's going to resign, and is sort of signaling that depending on what happens, there may not be an African-American representing Michigan in any way, shape, or form when all this is said and done. And you got Dan Kildee looking at a potential challenge, and Debbie Dingell switching districts in her area. This looks like, and it's happening obviously in other parts of the states as well. This is quite a jigsaw puzzle. What do you make of it, Bill?
Well, 3 members have already announced that they're moving. They're moving their residences. You know, Molinar is moving. Debbie Dingell says she's going to move, and Alyssa Slotkin says she's going to move. So let me point out one other thing here, Chuck. These maps are not necessarily final. That was one of your opening questions. They're being challenged in court. This could go on a long time in court. It could be late winter, early spring. It could be even later before this is decided. So,
and there's been historical precedents for this before, right, in Michigan?
Right. In 1962, they could not decide, the two parties, on a map. And so the courts ordered, guess what? A one-time statewide race for an at-large U.S. House seat, which was won by Neil Stabler, a former chairman of the Michigan Democratic Party. And they froze the district lines the way they'd been the previous 10 years. You know, that could happen again, Chuck.
So Bernie,
although it would be difficult given that we went from 14 down to 13. What do we throw one out?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. But God knows what a court may order, Bernie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When I drew the lines back in 1980, which became law with a change by the court, it was an incumbency plan. In other words, we tried to improve all of the incumbents on the Democratic side and not offend the Republicans, with the exception of we had a 5th district, which, by the way, is the same as they're drawing now, which combined Muskegon and Grand Rapids. And the Republican member of the court said, change that back. We did, and then he voted for the Democratic plan. And the issue now is that citizens are going to have new people, and everything is new, and that's largely because of the constitutional amendment suggesting that they ignore where candidates and incumbents live.
Quick question to both of you. This committee has gotten itself in a little bit of hot water because it has some of the closed meetings, and people have said, well, we didn't have full transparency here. Do you think that this is going to really come back and haunt them in these legal challenges, or is just going to be a lot of fussing and fighting, but it's not going to be the one thing that torpedoes it?
I tend to think the latter is probably true. I think it's probably going to cause some problems for the maps in court. That argument will be made. But I find it hard to believe that a court is going to say, you violated state constitutional language, and therefore we're throwing all the maps out. I just don't see that happening.
Right.
Neither do I. I think that they've looking at the maps. I would be surprised if the court took the fact that they were not transparent in dealing with the African American numbers and adherence to the Voting Rights Act by having those secret meetings. I'm not sure that they would take that one instance and suggest that the map should be thrown out or the district should be redrawn. Although that is possible because the way they drew them, a lot of them are not compact, and they drew plurality districts in African American districts because that enables them to make more competitive partisan districts.
Okay, we're going to end, time's always my worst enemy. We're going to end with the same way we began, with a yes or no question. 1 year from the attack on the U.S. Capitol, both of you have watched politics in this country for a long, long time. Yes or no, are you worried about the future of democracy? Bill Ballinger?
No.
Bernie Porn?
Kind of.
Kinda. Okay. All right. that gets us close. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Bill Ballinger there in Lansing, founder of the Ballinger Report, also the Friday Morning Podcast. Bernie Porn, co-founder of Epic MRA and president of Epic MRA based there in Lansing. Always good talking to you, and both of you stay safe.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you so much. And when we come back, we'll talk to a new breed of Detroit developers. Stay with us. And welcome back to Spotlight. Joining me now is Roderick Hardiman. He is CEO of Urge Development Group. And appreciate you joining me, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, too. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Mr. Hardiman, you recently broke ground right before the holidays, a $10.8 million development called the Sawyer Art Apartments. It's in the Bagley Fitzgerald community on the northwest side of Detroit. Tell us a little bit about that, and that's not your first venture into apartment buildings, but rather unique development.
No, we're really excited about that. So the Sawyer Art Apartments is in a naturally occurring affordable mixed-use building that'll be located on McNichols between Monica and Prairie. So, we think about the Live 6 area. We're really excited about the opportunity to help energize, revitalize that commercial corridor. McNichols is such a unique area, given the fact that while there's, a lot of vibrance already happening on the Avenue of Fashion in Livernois, McNichols also offers a very interesting complement to that activity because of the size of the street, because it's a little smaller, because of the way the streetscape has been redesigned. It really creates the opportunity for a really walkable community, a really walkable commercial corridor. And when the opportunities came to develop there, we thought, what better way to help increase and further activate this new commercial corridor than by adding some new residential units to there as well. So the Sawyer Art Apartments will allow us to bring 38 naturally occurring affordable units to the area, in addition to 6,000 square feet of retail commercial space on the first floor. We think it's going to be a great addition to the already vibrance that's already happening. There's several businesses that are there that are popping up, and we're just happy to be a part of it.
As you reference, Midtown is well developed now. It's off and running. Downtown is, but this is in the neighborhoods.
Right. So, some people think it's a significant risk, but I just like to remind folks, downtown wasn't always downtown as we see it today. Neither was Midtown. Someone has to go there. Someone has to have the foresight and the vision to bring something beautiful to our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods have vibrant histories and lots of tradition that we want to honor and preserve. We think about it as a creative place, not just making, but place keeping. Bringing something beautiful to the communities, but also preserving the historical legacy of what's been already there. And so we don't think it's that big of a risk at all. We also take a very long-term view of our projects. We're not in this for the short run, we're in this for a long time. And so we think that by creating something that's attractive, viable, but beautifully designed will really add and spark the activity on McNichols as well as in the neighborhoods around the city.
This is your second apartment venture in the last couple of years. You also have one called OSI Art Apartments. They all have the word art in there. Why do we see the word art in all of your apartments?
So the OC Art Apartments, again, they all have that theme because they have an artistic theme to them. But the OC Art Apartment is located on Grand River. It's actually one of the things that we're really excited about that got us going here in Detroit. It borders the North Corktown and Woodbridge areas, but it was the first activation of new commercial activity on Grand River, kind of west of the casino in several decades, right? And so we think we have the opportunity, and we've been known to do, is go into area and create the buzz, create the energy, take an area that people think you shouldn't invest in or maybe too risky and show why it makes perfect sense. And unlike on Grand River, the OCI apartments, but there's several projects that have followed us. We think the same thing will happen on McNichols. And our projects have art in it because, like my partner, Georgia Namdi, likes to say, our projects need a wow factor, right? And so we try to take a different perspective and infuse art, not into only the design of it, but into how we bring something to community. But they're also both named after local established artist. So the Sawyer Art Apartment is named after a very renowned local artist, Tyline Sawyer. Amazing fan of his work. He's a great artist here, has a great perspective. And we thought, what better way to honor the heritage and culture of Detroit than by naming our buildings after artists.
Those who know you know that you're a very fashionable guy. You can look at you right now with your very fashionable hat. I have to find out later how I can get that hat. But this also takes me into something serious. You're probably familiar with Dr. Richard Florida, who, 20 years or so really talked to the Detroit Regional Chamber about the importance of something you mentioned earlier, walkability in terms of these development projects, and then the Detroit Design Corps with Olga Stella.
Yes.
And they talk about that it's not just development, it's about the creative end that can remake cities.
No, that's very so true. I think we have to take a very holistic perspective. It's not about just the business of real estate. It's about how do we continue to uplift and curate communities that we all want to be proud of and we all want to thrive and live in. And that Live 6 community has opportunity to do so and is continue to do so. The streetscape redesign, the new businesses, our project provides a walkable attractiveness to the community. You can already tell right now, even during the holiday season, when they had the pop-ups for the holidays, people were walking up and down the block, starting to take advantage of the new design. We think that's just a very small step on what's really about to happen in many areas of the city of Detroit.
All right, we need to take a quick little pause for the cause. We'll come right back. I want to talk about financing because the money folks are out there saying, yeah, but where did he get the money for all of this? We'll be right back. Stay with us. And we're back on Spotlight talking to Rod Hardiman, developer in the city of Detroit, a proud Renaissance High and Morehouse College grad, and brings that unique experience to what he's doing today. Financing, where are you getting the money from?
So as folks always say, real estate development is tough to do, but in Detroit it's even a little tougher, right? And so it takes a really collective effort of public-private partnership to really pull these projects off, especially if you're going to try to take a natural occurring affordable lens to it. So the financing sources came from Invest Detroit, Capital Impact. We leveraged support from the state of Michigan and MEDC. The city of Detroit was very supportive. And so we're trying to find ways to bring all the necessary tools together. One of the things that I've been a really champion of since I've been back in Detroit is being about access to capital, right? It's hard for any developer or startup business to kind of find capital, but for Black and brown developers and women developers, it's even harder, right? And so one of the things I've been really focused on is how to open up that access to capital, open up that spigot so that more of us have an opportunity to play in these fields in this game. And so it's been a big push of mine. And so every project that we do, we try to show an example and make sure that people understand how we did it and how it got done so they can at least see a roadmap for how they can do it in the future. Detroit probably has the largest African-American development community, one of them in the country, right? There are actually a lot of us out there. The challenge is many of them are very methodical. They're very private in how they do their work, but they're there. They're out there doing good work, building great projects, in the neighborhoods all around the city. So I think there's actually a lot more of us than people actually think there are. But that doesn't mean it's not hard. That doesn't mean that we don't face more challenges than others, right? That is very much the case. And so it takes extra effort, extra push, extra tenacity to get these projects done.
You lived all over the world. You spent about 20 years on Wall Street. You lived in Hong Kong, Korea, Singapore, on the business side, getting that experience. Talk about what that experience did in terms of preparing you for what you're trying to do in Detroit and why you left New York to come back to Detroit.
Yeah, my experience on Wall Street was super instrumental. It gave me all the building blocks and the chops. It kind of taught me all the financial structuring, all the tips of the trade to do large transactions. So I spent 20 years buying and selling companies or running large businesses for large financial institutions. And so I saw what it took to move finance through the kind of machine. And I bring all those skills and tips back to Detroit. Every deal we do, we try to leverage every capital source. And our transactions probably are as complex as anything I've done in New York. And that's the way it should be. The way to maximize value and provide the impact and support in neighborhoods, you got to be creative. You got to do something that's a little different. I came home because while I had a great run from a career perspective, my family was in Detroit. I commuted back and forth for the last decade that I was in New York. And so I needed to come home. Family was rooted here, but my passion was here too, right? My passion for commitment and change and systemic impact and systemic change was really rooted here in Detroit. And there was no other place I wanted to do that but in Detroit.
What do you want to create in the generational wealth area?
No, it is about, from my perspective, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, right? And when I say generational wealth, most people assume you're talking about only from your family. While, yes, it is important for my family to create generational wealth, I am talking about for the community at large. I want to do projects that can have impact over the long haul, over 10, 20, 30 years, that change the forecast of the opportunities for communities and neighborhoods, that change the home value appreciation rates, that change the employment and economic outlook for communities. And so our perspective on generational wealth is about collective progress.
Final quick question. If people want to get more information about what you're doing and possibly partnering with you and teaming up with you, I know you do a lot of mentoring of young people that are interested in development area. Is there a website that they can reach out to you on?
Yes, they should go to www.urgeimprint.com. That's urgeimprint.com. And you can contact us there, read about what we're doing, both on the consulting side, on the development side, and love to hear from you.
All right. Roderick Hardeman, CEO of Urge Development Group in the city of Detroit. Thanks so much for joining us today on Spotlight. We'll stay in touch with you because I know we're going to hear a lot more about all these developments that you're involved in. Best to you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the Spotlight. We hope you have a great week.